Wutip has significantly intensified in the last 24 hours and is now a Category 3 on the Saffir-Simpson scale, with winds of 115 miles per hour and a pressure of 958 millibars verified by Force 13's SATID, its latest satellite measuring technique. The storm on the CDPS scale, it's still very much what it was before. This is assuming a landfall on Guam, which is not particularly likely, but just in case, worst case scenario, stage 6 on the CDPS, which would be catastrophic. Thankfully, it will appear that the storm is going to move quite significantly to the west, bearing in mind it's already on the same longitude of Guam now, and it's going to continue towards the northwest there. There it is right now, 10 degrees north, 144.8 east. And that northwestward motion will continue 225 miles south of Inarajan. It's in the southern part of Guam. 243 from Yigo, 285 from Rota, and 358 from Saipan, with Tinian there in between. So the main threat lies on those islands right now, but still a typhoon warning for Satawal as the storm begins to move away. Tropical storm warning for Guam and Rota has been in effect since last night. And a tropical storm watch in effect for Wolai in Micronesia, as well as the northern Mariana Islands. This is what the GFS model is saying, the latest. You can see again that northwestward movement and a gradual recurve you'll see during the later part of the weekend. And the main core of the storm still well off the coast of the Mariana Islands, so it is looking now as though the worst conditions will stay away. Of course, being in the northeastern quadrant, there could still be some significant tropical storm conditions on all of the islands, and that's why tropical storm watches and warnings are in effect. We don't anticipate it's going to deviate to the east now, but you never know. Keep your eyes peeled. Current temperatures, sea surface temperatures around 28 degrees Celsius, so this storm could intensify further over the next few hours. From the beginning we've been calling maybe minimum Category 4 as the potential peak, and that could well happen in the next 12 to 24 hours. This is another look at the wind chart, and you can see that Guam and Rota, I think, might have just been in that green area there. That's the tropical storm force winds, not quite reaching Tinian and Saipan, but of course tropical storm force gusts will certainly occur on all of these islands. And again, if the storm does deviate further east, you could see tropical storm conditions, sustained winds on all of those islands. It's needless to say, you should be prepared for the worst. The chance of tropical storm force winds then, if you're a numbers person, 57% on Guam, 29 on Rota, 18 on Tinian, 17 on Saipan, and 9% at Pagan, which is also under a tropical storm watch at this time. These are the models. You can see the HWRF wants it to be a Category 3 for quite a long time, and minimal Category 4 actually. So does GFS really, calling for Category 3 status there or thereabouts until very near the end of the forecast period there. And you can see why the wind shear will be going up steeply by the 27th. And the sea surface temperatures gradually going down, and so is relative humidity. The CTCX, a notable outlier there, taking the storm towards the west, but I don't think that's going to happen. Here's the latest satellite imagery on what the storm has been doing in the last few hours. The eye has certainly been developing pretty well. It's still deepening at this time. The latest eye temperature was minus 25 Celsius, which is pretty much halfway to being a fully fledged deep eye, but it's not there yet. Movement is pretty clearly to the northwest. You can just about make out Guam at the very northern part of the screen. But the storm is still building at this time. Northern eyewall needs a bit of work, but this storm is probably going to intensify some more. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com with the latest. You can also find our YouTube page. You're probably there already, but if not, subscribe if you haven't so far. You can also find our Facebook page, Force 13 all in text, and it's at Force 13 on Twitter if you'd like to get in touch with us on there. You can also help the project reach the next level by becoming a patron. It makes us even better, and you can reap your own benefits from becoming a patron at patreon.com/Force13. With a special thanks to these patrons, too many to read out individually, but we thank them very much for their support through the project over several months now. You can also find Force13 on Skype and Fool13 on Discord at extension 9094 for tropical weather chat.